Your child used to tell you everything. They would come home from school and tell you who sat next to them, who shared their tiffin, who got into trouble, what happened during break time, and sometimes even things you didn't want to know. And now you ask, how was your day? And you get one word, fine. You ask another question, school kaisa tha? Fine. Kuch hua aaj? No. And sometimes before you have even finished asking, the bedroom door is already closed. And if you're being honest, it hurts because somewhere inside you start wondering what happened. Did I do something wrong? Why doesn't my child talk to me anymore? Why is my teenager suddenly so rude? If you have ever felt that way, I want you to hear this very carefully. Your teenager is probably not becoming rude, they are becoming themselves. And understanding this one thing can completely change the way you see your relationship with them. You see, when children are small, their biggest job is attachment. They want to be close to you. They want your approval. They want your attention. They want to hold your hand. But children enter the teenage years, their brain gets a new job. Their brain starts asking, who am I? Not who am I as my mother's child or who am I as my father's child, but simply who am I? And to answer that question, they need a little distance, not because they don't love you, not because they don't need you, but because they are trying to discover themselves. Think about a bird learning to fly. If it never leaves the nest, it will never discover its wing. So, teenagers are doing something similar emotionally. They pull away a little because they are trying to figure out who they are. And here is where many parents accidentally make things harder. When teenagers pull away, we panic. And we panic, we chase. They become quiet, so we ask more questions. They ask for space, we follow them. They close the door, we knock louder. And the more we chase, the more they run. Not because they don't love us, but because they feel crowded. Imagine someone standing behind you all day asking, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Who were you with? What happened? Why are you so upset? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Even as an adult, you will eventually stop talking. So let's talk about three things that many loving parents do that quietly pushes teenagers further away. The first thing is that we give lectures when our teenagers simply want understanding. Your teenager comes home upset because of a fight with a friend. Before they have even finished explaining what happened, we as a parent jump in. See, this is exactly what I told you. You should have listened to me. This is what happens when you behave like that. And just like that, that conversation ends. Here, the teenager wasn't looking for a lecture, they were looking for a landing place. Most teenagers don't need solutions immediately, they need connection first. Think about your own life. When you are upset, do you want someone to immediately tell you what you should have done differently? Or do you want first someone understands you, your feeling? Teenagers are no different. So, the most powerful thing you can say is, that sounds really hard. I can see why that upsets you. Tell me more. Three simple words. Tell me more. Those words open the doors. Lectures usually close them. The second mistake we make is turning every conversation into an interview. Where were you? Who were you with? Why are you late? What happened? What did the teacher say? Did you eat? Did you finish your homework? Did you submit the project? Now, parents understand your intention is love, but the experience of a teenager is different. To us, it feels like care. To them, it feels like interrogation. And when people feel interrogated, they stop sharing. I once heard a teenager say something very interesting. He said, every time I talk to my parents, I feel like I am being investigated. That sentence stayed with me because many parents are trying to build connection through questions. But teenagers often build connection through presence. What does presence mean? It means being around without demanding anything. Sit beside them while they are eating, driving them somewhere, going for a walk with them, watching something together. Most meaningful conversation with teenagers don't happen across the table while making eye contact. It happens side by side, in the car, while cooking, while walking, while doing something else. Teenagers often talk when there is less pressure. The third mistake we make is trying to control when what they need is guidance. When your child is 7 years old, control works. Brush your teeth, finish your homework, go to bed, the child listens. But teenagers are different. The more control they feel, the more resistance appears because their brain is developing independence. Every order sounds like a challenge. Every command feels like a threat to their growing autonomy. So instead of trying to control everything, start guiding. Instead of saying study right now, try saying when would you like to study, before dinner, after dinner. Notice what happened. The goal has not changed. But now the teenager has some ownership, and ownership reduces resistance. Now let's talk about something many parents struggle with. Teenagers can sometimes be rude. Honest. Sometimes they snap, sometimes they roll their eyes, sometimes they speak in a tone that really hurts. And in those moments, parents take it seriously and they react from their own hurt. But I want you to think about something. When your teenager is at their worst emotionally, what are they really testing? Often they are testing whether your love is still safe. They are asking you a question they don't even know they are asking. Will you still be there when I am difficult? Will you still love me when I'm angry? Will you still be my safe place when I'm struggling? If every difficult emotion is met with an explosion or a lecture from the parent, they learn to hide. If difficult emotions are met with parents' calm boundaries, calm voice, they learn something different. They learn safety. Now, being calm does not mean allowing disrespect. Let's be clear about that. Guidance is not weakness. You can absolutely say, Bacha, I know you are upset, but I'm not okay you speaking to me in this tone. We can continue this conversation when you are calm. Say it in a calm, firm tone. That's the energy teenagers need. I remember speaking with a mother whose teenager son had almost stopped talking to her completely. Every conversation became an argument. Every question was answered with irritation. She felt rejected, she felt hurt, she felt like she was losing her child. So I asked her to try one simple thing for 2 weeks. I told her, stop asking so many questions. Just sit with him. Nothing else. No advice, no pressure, no interview, just presence. For 10 days, she simply sat beside him while he ate dinner. Sometimes they didn't speak at all. Then one evening, he started talking on his own about school, about his friends, about something that was bothering him. She called me crying, not because of what he said, because he said something. That's when she realized something important. He didn't need more pressure. He needed space. He needed her mother's presence. He didn't needed her questions. So if you are parenting a teenager right now, I want you to remember this. Your teenager is not becoming rude. Your teenager is becoming independent. And independence often looks messy. It looks like distance. It looks like silence. It looks like eye rolls. It looks like wanting privacy. But underneath all of that, they still need you, just differently. They don't need the parent who control every step. They need a parent who guides. They don't need a parent who lectures every time they speak. They need the parent who listens. They don't need the parent who chases them. They need the parent who stays available. Because here's the beautiful truth. Even when teenagers push us away, they are secretly watching us. Watching how we respond, watching whether we stay calm, watching whether our love remains steady. And when they discover that home is still a safe place, they come back. Maybe not immediately, maybe not dramatically, but they come back. So stop asking, how do I make my teenager talk? And start asking, how do I become a safe place when they are ready to talk? Because that's the real goal. No control, no obedience, just connection. See, your child is not broken, your relationship is not broken. You just need to change your parenting because parenting a toddler is different from parenting a teenager. And when we change the method, something beautiful happens. The distance slowly becomes connection again. The silence slowly becomes conversation again. And your teenager begins to see you not as someone they have to escape from, but as someone they can always come back to. And before you leave, tell me in the comments what is one thing your teenager does that you wish you understood better. I read every comment and your question might become my next video.